Hello, nonprofit rock stars and heroes. This is Tom Check with Greater Impact Consulting, where we help you streamline Salesforce for your nonprofit work. And today we're talking about dashboards. Dashboards are a really important part of any organization using any database, but especially a nonprofit using Salesforce. Dashboards are a way to see the data in your organization in a visual way, so that you're not just staring at pages and pages of rows and columns of data that doesn't actually mean much until you start to take a broader view of it. So dashboards are a way to take a report and make it visual, let you see the broader scope of what the report contains. And this is really valuable in most orgs. We think about, at the very least, the separation between like development and programs. Your program people are worried about seeing different things and measuring different things than your development people, of course. They want to see how many service deliveries of your programs did they execute in the last month compared to the previous month, or this year versus the last year. They want to see how many constituents have shown up to programs year on year. So what's your retention rate or your drop-off rate? They want to see, if you're a fee-for-service kind of organization, they might be interested in knowing what is the average ticket price and how many of them are being donated versus not donated. Your development people, on the other hand, have a different set of things that they want to see. They want to see how much money are we forecasted to close this year. They want to see how much money did we close last year. You as the executive director, if that's who's watching this, really care about, okay, I want an easy dashboard that I can show my board members every month or whenever your board members meet, so that you can show them on paper or on screen what the org is doing compared to what it said it was going to do. And that's what dashboards allow you to do. So today we're going to build a really basic dashboard, and we're going to do it for the demonstration app that we built in the last video. So we built a custom app for our development team. We called it the demonstration app. And now we're going to customize the home page so that the new dashboard that we built today shows up on the home page. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start by looking at our demonstration app. Pretty boring. This is not the information that we want our development people to have. We want more information that's more visual and better. So first we have to make sure that our reports are in order. We have to build reports, and we have to know what we're building. So if I go and I find reports, I can use just about any report for a dashboard, but it's really important to know that some reports are going to work a lot better than others. So if I open up this grants by status and close date report, what I see is that this is a summary report. There are summarized stages, closed year, closed months happening over here. If I were to say get rid of detail rows, I still see a bunch of information, right? It summarizes how many there are, in the amount of each of those by close month, by year, and by stage. That's all done in the edit screen. And if this is totally Greek to you, I highly recommend, before you build a dashboard, go learn more about reports. You can watch some of my videos. You can go to Trailhead and take some trails about building summary reports or matrix reports. Those are going to give you far higher quality dashboards. So this is the type of report that is really great to use in a dashboard. So let's go ahead and start building a dashboard. First off, I've got to go to dashboards. Any report I want to include in a dashboard, especially if it's for public consumption, the reports have to be in public folders. So if you get people telling you, I can't see the dashboard or I can't see that component, it's probably because the report is not in a public folder. That's something to know. As we create a new dashboard, we're going to have to put it in a public folder as well, because we want it to be accessible to our development team. So I'm going to go ahead and select Development Dashboards, select folder, and I'm going to name this Demo App Dashboard for development. Used for development app demo. Descriptions are always best practice. Go ahead and add those in. So this is where we start. Is with a blank screen, blank canvas, and we add components to it. So that report we just saw, the grants by status and close date, I'm going to go ahead and select that. And it's going to try and figure out what I want to see just based on what it sees in the report. It's often going to just be a row visualized report. So if I go ahead and let's just say I'll take the default. What does this dashboard show me so far? Well, first off, it shows me that I've got $903,000 in prospecting grants. That's really important to know. I need to follow up with those people. I need to make sure that our deliverables for the letter of intent got turned in. I got to make sure that I'm making the phone calls to my friends over there to find out what the status is, all that stuff. I can also see, holy smokes, look at us. This year, we've only brought in $916,000, right? And if I put my mouse over, it shows me the sum of the amount in the closed year and all that. So I've closed 916K this year. Last year, I closed 1.7. The year before that, I closed 2.3 million. And the year before that, 2018, I closed 3.3 million. So as an executive director, I can see that my annual grant income is shrinking in a very noticeable way. This is really important because now I can start asking really intelligent questions like, what changed? Did we make an intentional shift away from grants? Did we used to have a couple of cash cow grants that we just don't qualify for? Or is somebody dropping the ball? That's really great information to have. And as a development person, I can also go in and see, man, look, I haven't lost any grants this year. So I know it's not that we're writing more grants and just winning less grants. We're not writing as many grants because I haven't lost any grants this year. I've got some grants in prospecting, but that's it. Now I can customize this dashboard component, of course. I can make it a stacked, which takes that information and just puts it in individual stack so that I have to mouse over to see what's going on. But I can see that my total closed won grant income is over $8 million in this visualization. So that's pretty cool. I can see my closed loss. I've only lost over $1 million. Maybe I'm not writing enough grants at all. I can go in and I can change this to what's called a donut, right? I can see that this percentage, this amount of my donut is closed won. That's fantastic. I'm writing high quality grants. Maybe I'm not quite writing enough grants though, because I don't have many prospecting and I don't have many closed lost. Other things I can do in here, let's say I really like that original graph. I can change what's in here, right? But right now it's graphed by stage, but I can also graph it by year. So I can see that in 2018, I had 3.3 million closed and 246,000 lost, right? 2.3 million won, 912 lost. So this is a different way to visualize the same data that can be useful in different situations. I can also, instead of looking at amounts, I can just look at record counts. Okay, so I've got 6 grants that I won in 2018 and 1 that I lost. I won 4 grants in 2019, 5 grants in 2020, and I've only won 1 grant this year. So this just tells us a slightly different picture. And that's really valuable because once you identify what your dashboards are, you get consistent visual pictures for the information that matters most in your organization. So now there's some other stuff you can do in here, right? You can customize the ranges. A lot of this, if you're used to using Excel, this will look familiar. Right now we're sorted by close year. I could also sort by record count. I can sort, do secondary sorting, that kind of stuff. I can also go down and change the title on here if the report name isn't very pretty. Grants by status and subtitle close year. Neat. Okay, so I can update that, and here we go. That's my new dashboard component. So that's what that looks like. What does it look like when we add a couple of additional ones in here? Let's look at our top donors. This is a really basic report. It's just a table report. There's no summarization. So I don't get to display it as any of those cool ones. All I get is rows because Salesforce doesn't know what I'm trying to show. Now, certainly I could try and group it. I could try and group it by account name, but that's not going to give me much information. It kind of whacks things out. So for this is actually still a very useful piece of information. Let's go back in and add my account name in there. But what I can do here is I can sort by total gifts, and I can sort it descending. Oops. And I can reorder these just like I'm on Report Builder, right? I can show a total, And now I can go in and I can say, I only want to see my top 10 groups. And I'm just going to call this my top 10 donors. Now here's a really different kind of piece of information to have, but still really useful. I can see that Grand Hotels and Resorts has given me $2.25 million. Last year they gave me $650K. This year they haven't given me anything. It might be time for an ask to Grand Hotels and Resorts. Same for the Vinal household, right? They gave almost $1 million last year. Almost $1 million. Half of the total gifts they've given me came in last year. They haven't given anything this year. I'm going to go ask Mr. or Mrs. Vinal for a donation this year because they're already bought into the mission. They already love what you do. So this is the way that just a standard table-based report shows up in here, a tabular report as Salesforce calls it. Let's add a couple more in here and I'll show you what a functional dashboard starts to look like. All right, so at this point I've added 4 total components. And you've seen 2 of them, the grants by status, the top 10 donors. I also added open opportunities above 10,000, right? These are my big asks that are still open. And this is by dollar amount. And then I can actually mouse over and I can see that I've got $14.5 million as prospecting donations. I've got 900,000 as prospecting grants, right? We know about those because that is over here too, these 2 grants. So these are prospecting, and then my pledged donations, I've got almost $11.6 million in there. Down below here, I've got my accounts with opportunities by state. So this shows me if I'm a national fundraiser. This shows me where my money's coming from. So I can see that I've got big money in Texas, more than anywhere else. Texas, then California, then Virginia, then New York. So I know that a lot of my money is coming from Texas, but I might also be a little saturated there. So maybe I should go invest a little bit more energy and effort into Idaho or Florida to try and build some of my fundraising over there. Once all of this is done, right, we've added the components we want, we'll go in, we'll save this dashboard. And then when we have one of our users using it, we can go in and we can edit that homepage that we built in our last video. And this will be the last thing we do on this video. There's a couple other important pieces to dashboards that are a little bit more advanced, and we'll dive into those in the next video. But here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a dashboard. Oops. I'm going to find a dashboard. I'm going to drag it over. I want to get rid of this ugly thing. Oops. This ugly thing. And here's my demo app dashboard. It finds it. We can tell it how big we want it or how low we want it as far as height goes. And then we can just hit save. Now, seems pretty sweet. If I go to Nonprofit Success Pack, I see the same old boring homepage I've always seen. Right? This quarterly performance, today's events, assistant, blah. It doesn't look very good. But now that I've set up not only a custom app, but a custom homepage and a custom dashboard for my development folks using this demonstration app, now they get the same assistant, the tasks, all the stuff that they needed elsewhere. But now they've got this dashboard here. And now they can see at a glance, where are my dollars? And that's really valuable because now they don't have to go click around and open 10 different reports. And especially if you're going to go into a meeting and you need to present, it's really easy to just take a screenshot or print off the dashboard. Take that with you or email the dashboard. Subscribe to the dashboard so that it shows up in your inbox automatically. That's really cool, really valuable, really important for saving your team time. So that's all we're going to cover today for dashboards. Stay tuned for more advanced in the future. And until next time, keep doing the awesome work in your communities. It's so important, and I just love the fact that y'all are out there making the world a better place.